They say that I'm on the road. Maybe I just lost control. These nights keep on taking tolls. Find me out here on my own.
Hi guys, have you guys missed me? Welcome back to another video on this channel of mine. If you have not seen my face before, hi, my name is Lena. I am your big sister on YouTube. We do manifesting, we do story times, vlogs here and there, and I am going to announce a different little thing that we're going to do on this channel because I got these beautiful messages, so sweet, and that is podcast. You heard it here, podcast. So this is going to be a new segment. I'm going to literally talk about what has been heavy on my mind because baby, when I tell you that I could yap, I can yap. Okay, this is going to be my thoughts. This is going to be what's happening in my life currently or things that I'm just processing through. And you know what the thing is like, I just don't like TikTok is too, no, like people don't even have the attention span. People be having like 5-second attention spans. Okay, I love long form content. We're gonna stick to YouTube. I did order a microphone, so this will probably be the last video that you guys have this sound quality on because babes, we're gonna do this. I did order a like podcast little mic. And first things first, babes, y'all see my nails? Y'all see my nails? So freaking cute. I'm in love. My girl did that. She did that. Okay, let's jump in here. We are gonna talk like we're on FaceTime. And if you guys ever want me to talk on a subject, or like if we could even do like asking advice, babes. We could even do that. Shoot me a DM. I'm gonna have my Instagrams listed below. But let's start with something that's been heavy on my mind. Girl. Okay, that closure is a lie. It's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. I don't care. Because I used to be a diehard, no, life's too short. I need to get closure with ex-friends, exes, like just people that I knew were not good for me, people that I knew I had no business being friends with, no business dating. Like, we live and we learn. And I was really like a diehard, like I need closure, like I need to speak on. And I'm not so much like that. I feel like if there's a situation that presents itself where like I need to talk to someone from the past, like I'm gonna keep it like, I'm gonna keep it a buck, I'm gonna keep it 100. Like I'm gonna be mature about it. I'm not gonna be petty, I'm not gonna be dumb. I'm not gonna have an ego. But that doesn't mean that other people won't. That's the part I wanna talk about, babes, okay? Because I have recently, and I feel like, call it because of Saturn return or Saturn, what is it called? Saturn return. We're going to talk about that next. What's it called? Retrograde, whatever they're talking about, okay? That brings people in your past back. I don't know, maybe it was that. I don't know, babes. But one thing that I've noticed, and I can say these were all guys, okay? We're just gonna say like some of them were ex-boyfriends, some of them were ex-guy friends, like some of them, they were just like the homies, okay? Just like they said a thing or two that pissed me off and I was like, whatever. Point is that there's been situations that have like presented themselves where I had to talk to these people again. And girl, let me tell you the patterns that all of them have. And I was literally like, this is so crazy. People, one, and I'm going to say men. I'm going to say men, okay? I'm not going to say, like, girls because I've never really had this, you know, when it comes to me, like, talking to, like, an old friend that's a girl or whatever. I feel like this is mainly guys. When I tell you that these don't care if they did you dirty, babes, they don't care. They don't care. So, one, they do not care. Two, when I tell you that people out here justify them doing you dirty, they justify it, and I'll hear their reasonings and I'm like, what the most like out of pocket, like what? It's like XYZ, and it's like, yeah, because XYZ, this is this, like this is why I did that. And what they'll do is so shady, and I literally told all of them, I was like, I would have never done that to you. Ever.
You're a fucking coward and I would have never done this to you. I would have never done this to you.
I would have never done that to you. And they don't care. They will be like, well, because X, Y, and Z. Because X, Y, and Z. Because this, and this. And I'm like, that's crazy. I like to hope not all of them, but it's like some of these dudes out here really just don't care. They really just don't care if they did you dirty. They have a reason behind it. You can't tell them nothing. Like, they don't want to hear it. They don't care. They don't care. And it's something that it's so crazy to me. On top of that, the cherry on top, that I was like, literally all of them had this pattern. How they, like, the ego, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, the ego is crazy. Men's ego is something else, because when they try to, like, literally tell you, like, ever since you left my life, and yes, this is including, like, ex-guy friends, not even guys I dated, will be like, yeah, you know, oh, I don't miss you, but I know you miss me. They'll do that. They'll be like, oh yeah, like, you know, I've moved on, I don't even think about you, which I'm like, right. But then they will do the ego thing, and it's so weird. They will be like, oh, you know, I'm making so much money, look at what I'm driving now. And all of them had that in common, that I'm like, okay, so you want me to believe that you became Rick Ross in the matter of, like, some time and some change? Like, I guess it is the weirdest thing. And to me, I'm like, it is so crazy nowadays that people can't have a genuine conversation. Like, and it's funny because not in any of those conversations was I ever like, oh, I'm doing this now, oh, I'm doing this, because I'm like, baby, I don't have nothing to prove to you. And it's so funny because you can pinpoint that it's like, okay, you felt so, like, ego driven, so pushed to tell me that you're making so much money and you're driving these cars or whatever, that you had to tell me that. You had to, like, because you wanted me to, I don't know. It's just crazy. Like, to me, it's just literally like the stamp of, like, this is why you're weird. You're weird. And then I keep it pushing. And it's crazy. It is so crazy, like, that people will be like that. People will literally do you dirty, don't care. And then they will still try to, like, mess with you. They'll still try to do one of these to be like, yeah, I'm still good. I'm still a baller. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know, babes. I don't know. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about. I recently turned 30. What's it called? 30 and thriving. Flirty and 30 and thriving. Flirty and 30 and thriving.
30 and flirty and thriving. 30 and flirty and thriving.
No, we're not feeling flirty. We're not feeling thriving. No. Let me tell you something that is so real. I have heard growing up people say, when you hit your 30s, you will just not. And let me tell you, I have always been someone that I really didn't care. I've always been so outspoken since littles. There is literally, okay, a recording, okay, camcorder back in the days. Okay, y'all don't know what that is. Okay, we didn't have no phones back in the days. A literally camcorder recording video. Okay, little tape somewhere in my family garage, somewhere, of me as a 4-year-old, literally flipping my hair, writing something on a notepad. I had a little bracelet. I had little, whatever, the little fake Princess little high heels, little plastic high heels on. And they were like, Lena, say hi to the camera. And I was like, I'm busy. Like, I have been confident since young. I've been very outspoken. But when I tell you, I feel like when it dropped at midnight, when the time went to midnight on my birthday, I just feel like it just went through, like, through the roof. Honestly, I feel like it's not so much that you stop caring, like, that you're like, oh, now I have permission to go do what I want to do. It's not like that. I would say the way that I feel right now is that I stopped caring if it offends other people. I stopped caring if you're jealous. I stopped caring whatever issue other people had with me. It is not my problem. I stopped caring if exes were stalking me, ex-friends. I stopped caring if people that I'm not even associated with, but through somebody else, like, had an issue with me being on social media or me achieving my dreams. Or sometimes people are just mad at you, not because they want what you have, but because it's like, oh, she knows what her dreams are, she knows what her goals are, her passions, or even she knows who the heck she is in this world. She walks with her head held up high. She doesn't care. Nothing can take her down. It could be something as so simple and so dumb over the fact that you know who you are, and that is a big thing. So I will say this, I'm on this journey of one, going towards everything I ever wanted, but two, it is a journey that's not even, there's no fear. When I tell you that I have never felt so confident in my life, and I feel so like, confidence is so sexy. Let me tell you, let me just throw that in there. Me turning 30, I've always been very in tune with my feminine energy. I exude, you know, I've had multiple people say, like, on my social media, they'll be like, on my Instagram, they'll be like, oh my gosh, you give dark feminine energy. And I always knew that, but there's something about being 30, you guys. There's something about being 30 that's so sexy. I don't know if it's the confidence. I don't know what it is, but it's just like, you know that you're unshakable, unbreakable, and you just look at situations like, I don't know how, but it'll work itself out. Or you just look at drama like, I don't have time for that. Or people that want to put you down, you could pinpoint it so good. They're just like, oh, you're jealous of me. Oh, you don't know who you are, so you want to project that insecurity. Like, you get so good at life and so good at like playing the game of life that you're just like, that's why, like, going back to like when I would talk to ex friends and all that, and like reconnect with ex people in my life, you know, that were once upon a time ago special to me, I could pinpoint the narcissism, I could pinpoint the ego, and I would just let them yap because I thought it was funny. Literally, the confidence you get, being older is crazy. And with that being said, is like, I am on this journey, and I'm definitely gonna record it and everything. I'm gonna do things that I've always wanted to do, and I never got around to it for whatever reason. And one of them actually, I don't know if you could tell on camera because the lighting's kind of like off. One of them was dyeing my hair, and I don't know if the camera's registering it, but it is like a wine red, like not like a cherry red, but it's like a wine, like a Merlot red. And I've always been one of those girls that I had one time bright red hair. I've always had black hair, and I didn't know, like, one day when I did this, like one day, this was way before I was 30. This was maybe like a couple of months ago before I turned 30. I was like, one day I had woken up and I had a little, you know, a little something, little extra, little spending money. And I hit up my hairdresser and I was like, you know what? I was like, what appointment do you have? And she's like, is it time? And I had talked about dyeing my hair this color with her for almost 3 years. 3 years. And she was like, is it finally time? And I was like, it's finally time. And I did it. And something so simple as wanting to dye your hair, you know, an out there color, something so simple like that. And there you go. That was just like step one. I feel like the next thing, and there is no fear. Okay, I'm a piercing person, and I do plan on getting a couple of piercings. That will be in a later video. But I have never been a tattoo person. I cannot, for the life of me, I just couldn't envision something on my skin every day just looking at it, because I'm someone that gets so bored. Like, I need quantity. Okay, I need like change. Like, I love comfortability, but as much as I love change, like, I'll get bored quick. Okay, ADHD things, it is what it is. And I just couldn't like imagine seeing something on me, like, no matter how cutesy it was. And I'm one of those girls, like, I would love to have a cute little cherry tattoo, you know, maybe a Playboy bunny tattoo, but like, I couldn't like be able to see it. I wouldn't be able to see it every day, and then I would just be like, you know. And then I gotta think in the long run, like, when I get older, like, is that cherry tattoo here or the little Playboy bunny that I wanted somewhere, you know, is that gonna look? It's not. Okay, but something in me was like, you know what, it's time. And I don't want to say it just yet because I will be doing a vlog on what I do get. I'll be getting 2 different tattoos, but I think it's time, babes. And it's things like that, and there's so much more added to my list. There's so many things, from wanting to travel now, you know, and that's always been something that it's like, I think especially as a female, solo traveling, it can be scary. And to me, I'm just like, I don't feel like I have that fear anymore. I don't feel like I'm questioning things as much now that I'm older. I just don't care. Like, to me, I just feel like, and it's crazy to say, but I just feel like most problems, most situations, you just throw money at them and they fix themselves. It's called having a tour guide. It's called going with a freaking group. Like, you know, that's what I'm trying to say is just like, I feel like all these limitations that I put on why I couldn't go traveling, for example, or why I couldn't pursue my dreams because people had an issue with it and I didn't want to ruffle no feathers. I couldn't speak on certain topics or speak on certain things that people did because some people would be offended. I don't care anymore. That is not my job to, okay? So I'm at the point of like, again, you know, it's stuff like traveling, but at the same time, it's like small things, small irrelevant things that I've always wanted to do. And one of them, it's so funny, I've always wanted to learn how to dance, like whether that's like, I don't even know what to call it, like I don't know, like I'm leaning more towards either like salsa dancing, like I wouldn't mind, you know, how to like, you know, salsa, you know, the Latina in me, but I also wouldn't mind taking like a heel class. And if you don't know what that is, it's like that sexy, you know, when the girls have their heels and they're over here and they're on the floor and like, you know, pushing on their body and it's so sensual, so sexy. Like, girl, I would not mind doing that. I would not mind, like, yeah, maybe I might do both, you know, but I think I'm literally right there where I'm like, I don't want to limit myself because it really comes down to you are the one limiting yourself. The only limitations are you. And I, of course, you know, I used to be the one that was like, no, not right now, you know, mentally, emotionally, I'm not ready. Financially, I'm not ready, babes. No. I'm not gonna play that game at this point in time. It is what it is. And then moving to that, let me tell you, lately what's been happening, emotions. Ooh, girl, I have gotten in trouble. Especially when it comes to the world of dating, I've gotten in trouble for being so logical, so I wouldn't say I'm cold, but I would just say like I have a level head. Okay? And I have really just mastered emotions when it comes to being a female, and I'm going to walk you through it if you ever feel like, you know, what's going on, because I'll tell you what happened the other day. And I had this conversation with my mom. My mom is like my best friend. And I told her, I was like, you know what's so funny? I was like, I feel like now that I'm older, I was like, I can literally pinpoint why I'm feeling a certain way. And instead of going over it and instead of like thinking of it negative, for example, you know, me being upset over how having conversations with people that, you know what, I'm human. Of course, I'm going to miss certain people that I don't talk to in the past. Of course, you know, I'm human. We had memories. And may it be so that I'm a female and maybe guys don't think like this or guys don't have their feelings like that. At the same time, it's like if someone asks me like, oh, you know, did you miss me at one point? Then I'm going to be like, yeah, you know, I have, or whatever the case is. Like, what do I get out of being like, oh no, like, no, I didn't miss you. I don't need, like, okay. But the thing is like, even though I was upset over some answers that I received from people in the past, I literally like was like, okay, why do you feel like this? And then I asked myself, I processed it through, and I was like, you know what? We're going to take this as fuel and we're going to push and we're going to pour into ourselves. Because another thing is like, when you overthink, when you think about things in the past, when you think about people in the past, do you know why you do that? And I feel like I am one of those people that I need to understand why I'm feeling certain things. I need to understand why I have a passion for certain things. Why am I interested? I'm always looking for answers. Like, I can't stop. I'm just always, I need to find answers. And I will not stop until I figure it out. And literally, I pieced the puzzle together yesterday that I was like, okay, that's why. When you're focused on what other people do to you, or when you take it to heart, yes, you know, a side of it is that you got disrespected, and that's totally understandable. But there's a side of it that it's because you're not pouring the attention and the energy onto you. And it's as simple as calling back your energy. I do it all the time. I call back my energy. I'm like, I call my energy back to me, blah, 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 blah. And I pour into me. And that's the thing, is that you can never go wrong. And I went and I had me a little me day. You know, go to Starbucks. I went, you know, pull out some little cash. girl, I was feeling better as soon as the money came out, and I'm just like, you know, I see the little money, grab my little cash, and I went shopping. I feel so much better. And then I went and I got my nails done. Like, babes, that is literally the answer. If you ever feel stuck, if you ever feel upset over a situation, obviously, like, process it, but go and pour into yourself. Like, there's so much wasted energy in trying to figure out people, and that is another thing. I'm done. I'm retired. I'm out the game. When it comes to me solving people and why they're treating me a certain way, why if they don't answer text messages, like whatever the case is, I'm not gonna solve the puzzle anymore. I feel like when I was a little bit more younger, you know, I would drive myself crazy. I'd be like, oh, why isn't this person texting me? Oh, did I say this wrong? Did I say this? You know, I used to double guess a lot. How do you say double guess? Second guess. Double guess is crazy. Second guess myself. And I used to do that. And now I'm not going to figure it out. I'm the type of, I just see and I'm like, oh, you leave me on red, but you're posting on social media? Okay. Okay, that's you, boo-boo. That's you. I'm not even going to look for an answer. Was it done on purpose? Was it not done on purpose? Is there mind games being played here? I don't care. I got shit to do. And that is my favorite saying. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I got shit to do. Literally. Like, if you were to ask my family and my friends, what's her saying? I got shit to do. And I will do one of these. I got shit to do. Because that's what you got to tell yourself. You got to be like, I got shit to do. I'm not going to sit around here and decode or try to be like, oh my gosh, do they think I'm funny? Do they like my personality? Oh my gosh, am I good enough? No. I got shit to do. I'm not going to decode it. I am no longer going to pour into friendships where people use my energy, where people are like, I have no problem with motivating people, but it's come to the point that like people like to be around me, get motivated, and then they'll try to turn around and be my enemy, or they'll try to take things from me. And I'm like, why? Like, you can't be your own person. You can't get the things that, you know, like, no one gave me handouts. No one, you know, you can't go and do that. Like, I'm no longer going to pour into fake friendships. I'm no longer going to pour into friendships where the person is a snake. I'm not going to, if you move funny, I'm just going to literally be like, you're weird. I got shit to do. And same thing when it comes to guys, you know, it's just very much like, there was a point where I just didn't bother because I already knew that the guy for me was gonna be so about me and he was not gonna be hesitant. Let me tell you, the man for you, and this is to my ladies, okay? The man for you will have urgency. Because men, babes, men are primal. Men are going to see you. I want her, and I'm not going to let any of these other guys even attempt, even try to get her, because she's mine. That one, she's mine. They will have urgency. And if they don't, I'm sorry to say this, on to the next. We got shit to do. Okay? This man is going to study you, and he's going to literally like, girl, you will never have to question it. And this comes into play because in a way, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, in a way, because I have really good friends. And I'll tell you what my friend did recently. And I just looked at her and I was like, damn, you're such a good friend. We went to the beach. I had literally, before that, I had told her, I was like, you know, I didn't have a good beach day. I had gone the other day. Girl, let me tell you. Here I am trying to be like one of the girly pops, and I was on TikTok and I was scrolling and I was like, you know, let me see. You know how people say, oh, the viral blah, 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 blah. Y'all was talking about the viral, put it somewhere here. The viral 5 Below pink tent. And in my head, I'm like, hell yeah. I go to a 5 Below and I get the last one. And in my head, I'm like, I got the last one. No, joke's on me. Joke's on me. Because when I took it to the beach, not only, girl, I've never been in a tent, okay? I've never been in a tent before. No one told me the tents were freaking, felt like a little sauna up in there. So one, it felt like a little sauna. I was dying in the tent in the beach. I literally, if you guys would have seen me, it was the funniest thing ever. Pretend this is the opening. Well, I'll do it like this sideways so you guys can like get the idea. this is the opening of the tent, and it's pretty spacious in there, okay? And I was like this literally in the front. So people were passing by and they're looking at me. I had my hat on in there. I had my glasses on in there. And I was like this in the front, like the window, like the little, like the opening, whatever you want to call it, the door, the tent, whatever. And then I was like trying to get some oxygen, some air. And I'm like I was just like dying in there. So one, it was a sauna. Two, the more it got like later in the day, when I was like, oh, I just needed to cool down. I needed to cool down because this was all the way, you know, this was a far beach, almost a 2-hour drive. And I was like, no, I need to make it worth it. Like, I'm here, you know? But I'm also one of those types, I will not lay on a beach towel with nothing over me and cook. Baby, I love my skin color. Let's not get it twisted. I love being a little golden caramel. I've always been like, oh, she's a golden caramel or whatever. But I will not get burnt, baby. No, 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 no. I'm not one of those. I've never been burnt in my life. Like, I've never had, what's it called? I never had a sunburn. I'm not trying to get one at 30, okay? But, like, I don't like to burn like a crisp. So, in my head, I was like, no, I'm not going to take this tent down and have the, like, be on the towel and burnt to a crisp. I'm not going to do it. But when I tell you guys, this tent, and it had the most cheapy, it was like the little L, I don't know how to describe it. But like, it was like little, it looked like little L's, and it was like this short, and I just put it in the sand. Okay, obviously on the floor, you know, to put the tent in the sand and hold it down. Those didn't do nothing. Because why? Later on in the day, it gets windy, and that tent is lifting, and I'm like, Mom, I'm scared. Cause what you mean? What you mean? And I don't have, like, some people get embarrassed by certain things. I don't have that. I could literally trip on stage, and I'm one of those that I could get up, do one of these hair flips, and I will still walk and just be like I'll just kind of like walk it off and just still perform, you know? I'm one of those. So like, it wasn't an embarrassing thing. It was just more, I was annoyed. And I had like a heavy water bottle. I put it on one corner. I had a bag, and then I put it on the other corner. And I'm like, bruh, there's still 2 that were lifting up and trying to flap in the wind. And I was like, what is this? What is this? So in conclusion, y'all, I had a terrible beach day because that tent was trying to fly. And in the end, like, I ended up packing it once it got a little bit more fresh and the sun kind of, you know, when it was like setting and everything. I packed the dumb tent. Then I could sit on my little towel, and then I went in the water, but it was just like, it wasn't it. It wasn't it. So I was telling my friend, I was like, hey, like, before summer ends, I want a good beach day. Like, I want to be like, damn, that was a good summer day. And I just said that, and she's the queen of like, I can relax my mind with her. And that's a new thing that I've never had in a female friend. Usually I'm the one that has to think for them, or it's like equal, like both of us are like, you know, I can literally ease my mind when I'm with her, because she has everything. She's one of those friends that is so prepared. And when I tell you that, she's like, oh, let's do a beach day. She's like, my aunt has a beach house, and all that. So we go over there, and I'm like, you know, like, I was like, oh girl, like, you know, what did you bring? This girl brings drinks. And I should mention, like, for funsies, she does like bartending on the side, and she's like, I got you, babes, I got your pineapple. I'm a sucker. If anyone knows me, I'm a sucker for anything tropical. Malibu, pineapple, coconut. Like, I'm such a tropical girly in every sense, when it comes to drinks, when it comes to my cake, when it comes to perfumes. Like, I'm just such a coconut tropical girly. Like, that's just me. And she brings out my little drinkies, and I'm like, okay. And she brings out, you guys, she brings out my blue buzz ball, and I'm like, and to be loved is to be seen. To be loved is to be seen. Okay? And she is such a good friend. And when I seen that, I was like, girl, are you kidding me? And she's like, yeah. And then she even got me chips. I'm such a chip person. She's like, I got you chips. I got you your grapes. Like, I know you. And that's so me, that I'm like, I need like some fresh fruit. I like something fresh. And then I need like my chips. Like, I love my chips. And she got me my salt and vinegar. And again, to be loved is to be seen. So she's doing all that. And I'm like, girl, like, you are the freaking best. And we have a good time. We have our little drinks. We're up here kicking. We're like, oh my God, we're on the beach. Like, too bad he's on the beach. And she's like, let's go in the water. We're swimming. And then I'm like, let's play mermaids. She's like, okay. And we're just like having a blast. And I get the drunk cheese. Okay, I get the drunk cheese. Not that I was drunk, but I just call it drunk cheese, okay? Because buzz cheese doesn't sound right, but I call it the drunk cheese, like munchies, drunk cheese, okay? And I love me a good little snack. Like, I love me a good little snack when I'm like feeling good, feeling buzzed, okay? And tell me why. She's like, hey, she's like, let's pack up and go to my aunt's house. And it's literally like, girls, like a 3-minute walk. So I was like, okay, cool, let's go. And she's on her phone, and we have a rule when we hang out, like, we're never on our phones, like, we're never, unless it's like something like, you know, that you have to be, but like we were like, no, like, we're not on our phones or whatever. And she's on her phone, and I'm like, and she's like, I promise you'll like it, it's a surprise. And I'm like, okay. 20 minutes go by, and she's like, oh my gosh, like, where are they? And I was like, where are they? I was like, oh, what's happened? We throwing a party was good. And she's like, yeah, where are they? And I'm like, I see this guy come on a bike, and I'm like, what's happening here? And then she was like, open the box. This girl got us pizza, got us breadsticks, and I should mention she's Italian. And anyone that doesn't know, and I feel like this is always such a big shocker when I tell people, yes, I'm Latina, but I love me Italian food. Oh my gosh. I can have pasta, I can have pizza, I can have bread any time of the day. I don't know if I was Italian in a past life, I don't know, but I'm a sucker for pasta, for cheese, for like, marinara sauce, like a good fettuccine, a good wine, a good sangria. Oh my gosh, heaven. And she's like, open that box, that's for you. And I open it, and it's meatballs, and I was like, I'm a sucker for a good meatball. So here I am with my buzzed little self after my hair is all freaking wet. I'm all like, you know, from the beach. I'm all like, oh, I was swimming, having a good time, all this. And she gives me little meatballs, and I'm just over here so happy. Just dip me them in the marinara sauce. And again, to be loved is to be seen. And I feel like by having good friends like that, and then you turn around and you see certain situations, and you're like, oh my gosh, when people aren't putting the effort in, but your friends are, ooh, babes. That is a truth. That is like something that not everyone is ready for. And again, it's not something that you dive too deep into, because I wasn't here sitting like, oh, why doesn't this person do this? Why doesn't this person? No, not at all. It's just like, damn. This is why I don't dive deeper into why certain people do things, why certain people don't. Like, they will be about you, whether it's your friends and you want to know if your friends are genuine. That's it. To be loved is to be seen. Even in a friendship level, do they do things like that? And everyone has their love languages, you know. And this friend just happens to have the same ones as me, but even then they could be totally different. It could be quality time, and that's another thing that we do, you know, whenever we just want to hang out and have a coffee and just kiki for a couple hours. That's also a thing. But at the same time, it's like, you don't have to question genuine friendships. You'll feel it, and they'll prove it to you in an effortless way where it won't feel forced or anything. And when it comes to dating and relationships, you know, same thing. And it's very simple. And I've come to terms with I'll just say like relationships in general, whether that's friendships, family, or like genuine like dating relationships in my life in general. I feel like I'm at this point in time that right now it's very cutthroat, very, very, very cutthroat to be in my life, where it's like, I gotta see that you're 100% there for me, because I'm no longer gonna pour into people that are not gonna pour into me. I need all that energy for myself, and whether it's selfish or not, so be it, because I feel like it's time. This is a time, it's like, I'm gonna put myself first. Like, I gotta take care of me first. Sorry. So that could be your sign too. If you need to listen to something like that, that could be your sign, where you're like, oh, she's making sense. I need to pour into myself. So that is all, you guys. That is all I feel like this week. I feel like that's everything. I feel like, you know what, that's the tea for this week. There's plenty of more, but we're gonna see how this goes, okay? We're gonna slowly roll this out. But thank you so much for watching, and don't forget, if you want to connect with me, my socials are listed below. If you want to do advice for like asking me for advice, I got you. Oh my gosh, when I tell you guys, I'm like the free therapist for everyone in my family and all my friends. Yeah, feel free to shoot me a DM on either one of my Instagrams. I do have a car one, and then I do have a personal / modeling one. And if you guys have questions for me too, personal questions, feel free. I want to do a Q&A, but I feel like I don't have enough. So if y'all want to drop me a question, you know, list below in the IGs, and I'll see you guys later.